Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling small, weak, even guilty, as if something inside you was torn out, but you don't even know what you did wrong? And the strangest part? You didn't yell, you didn't argue, and you definitely weren't the one at fault. You just talked, but somehow that conversation left a deep mark on you. That wasn't just a bad conversation. That was verbal abuse. And most of the time it happens without us even noticing. In this video, I'll guide you through the dark psychology of verbal abuse. You'll discover how words, though they may seem gentle, can be toxic. They don't target your body, they target your mind and your soul. On this Stoic journey, you'll learn how verbal abuse often hides in plain sight, how it silently erodes your self-worth, and how you can protect yourself psychologically with the help of Stoic wisdom and modern psychology. If you've ever felt something like this, even once, this video is for you. Now sit down, focus your attention, and before we begin, subscribe to the channel and like the video, because this information may just change your life. Ready? Let's begin. Remember this: verbal abuse doesn't always come with shouting. When people hear verbal abuse, they usually picture the same scene. An angry person yelling, insulting, dominating the other, using cruel words to belittle and humiliate. Yes, that is abuse. But that's not the most dangerous kind. The most dangerous form of verbal abuse is quiet. It's hidden. It's subtle. It's wrapped in kindness and often disguised as normal. It's so invisible that your friends won't notice it. Your family won't understand it. And sometimes, even you can't fully recognize it. This kind of abuse comes dressed in soft language. It hides inside a joke, a well-meaning piece of advice, or a kind comment. But it stabs you from the inside. Not just once, but over days, months, even years. Come on, it was just a joke. Why are you so sensitive? I'm not saying you're bad, it's just you talk a bit too much. You think you're smart, but honestly, you've still got a lot to learn. These sentences sound harmless, but every time they're repeated, a part of you begins to dissolve. You start to question yourself. Maybe I'm too sensitive. He's just being honest, I'm overreacting. It was a joke. Why did it hurt so much? And this is where the game begins. Because the goal of verbal abuse isn't to make you cry or scare you. The real goal is to turn you against your own values and silence your inner strength. This is no longer a battle of words. It's a war of minds. And in this war, the abuser uses language as a weapon. They don't always criticize you directly. Sometimes they compliment you in a way that cuts deeper. You're really talented, but maybe don't act like you're better than others. You're pretty, but your tone isn't very ladylike. These kind insults leave the deepest scars, because you can't immediately tell what's wrong. And at the core of this psychological game lies one powerful tactic: gaslighting. Gaslighting is the abuser's way of shaking your reality until you don't trust yourself anymore. They will deny what they said, twist facts, present their words as yours, and worst of all, mock or belittle your feelings. Eventually, you begin to doubt yourself. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe I'm just imagining things. This is the most dangerous phase. You no longer believe your own emotions. And that's exactly what the abuser wants, to take away your reality. Because if you don't own your reality, you become a prisoner to theirs. This game doesn't just happen in romantic relationships. It happens in families, at work, in friendships, even in teacher-student dynamics. Sometimes it's the child abusing the parent. Sometimes it's the parent controlling the child. And this can go on for years, because the silence of abuse is the sharpest weapon of all. No one sees your pain, not even you. And the moment you start accepting their words as truth, the moment you begin to see yourself through their eyes, not your own, that's when you lose this silent war. Let's now shed light on this question. What lies behind the words chosen to break someone's mind? Let's dig a little deeper. Understanding the victim is one thing, but looking into the mind of the abuser is something else entirely. And this gives us the key to understanding the core mechanism of verbal abuse. Because no one just wakes up and decides to hurt someone with their words. every day just for fun. This isn't random behavior. It's the overflow of inner poison. In many cases, the abuser is a wounded child inside, someone who has faced years of neglect, rejection, or emotional suppression. Someone whose sense of self-worth has been crushed. But instead of healing that pain, they try to regain control by making others feel the same kind of hurt. What's going on in the abuser's mind? Deep down, these people often feel worthless. But admitting that, even to themselves, is unbearable. So what do? They shrink others. They belittle, criticize, and limit you. By stripping you of your strengths, your values, your uniqueness, they feel superior. It's a form of psychological compensation. When they break you, they feel whole. When they make you cry, they release their inner rage. When they see you doubt yourself, they feel in control again. How does this become a mechanism of abuse? This is no longer just a reaction or emotional outburst. It becomes a planned cycle, a system with its own logic. 1. They identify your weak points. They remember every insecurity you've ever shared. That one mistake you made in the past. The way you were compared to your sibling. The things you're ashamed of. And they store all of it for later use. 2. They repeat patterns to deepen the wound. The same sarcasm. The same insult. The same subtle jab over and over. You've always been like this. You'll never become someone. Who do you think you are anyway? They push you to surrender mentally. You stop arguing. You just say, okay. You stop expressing yourself because you know they won't listen. And worst of all, you no longer trust your own instincts. And this is the most dangerous point, because now the abuser begins to shape your reality. At first, you don't understand what's happening. You just feel a little anxious. But slowly that anxiety becomes part of your daily life. What will they say this time? Let me stay quiet, maybe we won't fight today. I better not speak up, don't want to upset them. And bit by bit, you start shrinking from the inside. Where you once said no, you now say maybe. Where you once stood up for yourself, you now fall silent. What once felt like injustice now feel normal. This is the abuser's most sophisticated trap. To take away your instinct for self-defense. Because when a person forgets how to protect themselves, they're much easier to control. You think you're making sacrifices for the relationship, but what you're really doing is losing yourself. For the abuser, this isn't a game, it's a strategy, a control technique, and the more you adapt, the stronger their system becomes. So how should we respond to verbal abuse with a Stoic mindset? What can you do in the face of this pressure? How do you protect yourself from the games and words designed to silence you? The answer doesn't lie in fighting back with more insults, nor in emotional explosions. Your greatest weapon is your mind. And to strengthen that mind, we can turn to the wisdom of the ancients. Wisdom that has stood the test of thousands of years. What do the Stoics teach us? Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you that matters. What matters is how you respond." This means that the verbal attacks you face, they are not your destiny. Your true destiny lies in your response, and that response can be shaped with calm and clarity. According to Stoic philosophy, we must not be ruled by our emotions. Instead, we must learn to govern them, because the moment you react emotionally, you've already surrendered the wheel of your mind. So what does that mean in practice? Let's break it down simply. Don't accept their words as truth right away. Don't react the moment you hear them. Instead, step back mentally. Is this really about me? Or is it their own problem? This mental distance gives you power, not to react, but to choose. Who are you? What defines you? If you are clear on your principles and values, then it won't matter what others call you. An abuser may say you're weak, but if you know that patience is strength, then their words cannot touch you. Silence is power. Sometimes not responding is the strongest response. Abusers don't want your words, they want your reaction. They want to provoke you, drag you down to their level. But when you stay calm and silent, they lose their power entirely. Never forget, silence is not weakness. Silence is victory over the storm within. Observe, don't react. Instead of responding to every jab, observe. You're no longer part of the game. You're standing outside, watching like a wise observer. Why is he talking this way? What is he trying to compensate for with this behavior? This shift in perspective protects you, because now you're not just hearing, you're understanding. And remember, the Stoics didn't just speak in theory, they trained their minds with daily practice. Here are 3 simple mental techniques you can apply. 1 morning question. If someone insults me today, how will I remain calm? 2 evening reflection. Did someone's words shake me today? Why? 3 visualization drill. Imagine someone insulting you. Practice again and again how you will respond calmly and clearly in your mind. Always remember this. An abuser doesn't attack you because you're weak. They attack because they see strength in you. Your silence, your self-awareness, your psychological boundaries, they disarm the abuser. If you refuse to play their game, the game ends. And the most powerful response to those trying to change you is this. I've taken control of my own mind. Don't let silent insults define you. Verbal abuse is often like an unheard scream. From the outside, everything looks normal. There's conversation, there's laughter, maybe even jokes. But inside, your voice is fading, shrinking, tightening. This kind of abuse is a hidden attack against who you are. And the most dangerous part, no one sees it. But you do. You feel it. And that feeling, that whisper in your chest, is telling you that this cycle must end. If you've lived through what we talked about in this video, know this. You are not weak. On the contrary, despite all the attacks, you're still standing. That's not weakness. That's hidden strength. And know this too. You're not alone. Thousands of others carry this same pain. They've heard the same words. They've silenced themselves the same way. But by watching this video, you've taken a step forward, because naming verbal abuse is the beginning of healing. So what is true strength? It's not what others think of you. It's what you clearly know and believe about yourself. And the clearer that vision becomes, the less any insult, any word can shake you. If this video sparked something inside you, if a quiet voice said, "This is me," then don't keep it to yourself. Because the video you share today might be the first step of healing for someone else tomorrow. Like the video, share it. Subscribe to the channel. This space is yours. And for people like you, every week we'll explore mental strength, emotional health, and deep philosophical insight. Until the next video, with love and respect from Stoic Master.